I know making this video puts my sanity at risk, but I still want to do it. Somehow I feel like I already know that there's no answer for any of this.
Have you ever wondered what nothingness is? What came before everything? I'll give you 5 seconds to ponder that thought. Did you catch that? First, there was nothing. Then, suddenly, everything. Let's go back. So, here we are. Or are we? Human logic suggests that before the Big Bang there was nothing, right? If there's no space, time, or matter, we couldn't be here. But for the sake of this film, let's imagine that we're witnessing nothingness. So, what is it? Let's try to break this down. There's no space, meaning there's no dimension where something can exist. No time implies no progression of events. And without matter, there's no energy. Now, consider this. If nothing is the absence of everything, imagining nothingness becomes impossible. Our consciousness, the very tool we use to make sense of reality, has no place in it. Even using the word "it" feels awkward because it doesn't make any sense in this context. Every attempt to picture the void will fail due to the nature of our own. Suddenly, we're back in business. Space, time, matter, and energy are in play. We give it a few years for things to fall into place. Gravity, dark matter, dark energy, inorganic matter.
And finally, organic matter. That's us. Here we are, the present day. So now what? Can we go back to nothingness? I mean, the only thing separating this very moment from the beginning of everything is just a small period of time, right? Now let's consider the number 0, the mathematical representation of nothing. Isn't it fascinating that by adding other numbers to its left or to its right, nothing becomes something? What once was a representation of nothing now becomes the main character of the story by adding value and depth. Now that I think about it, the symbol of 0 looks like a hole. What if this is the portal that can take us back into the void? Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Hey, I think I made it. There's nothing in here. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Okay, I get it. Let's move on. What? Where the hell am I?
Let's say that somehow we reached the end of time. For some reason, the expansion of the universe stopped, and what began as an explosion, a Big Bang, now ends as an implosion. All matter, space, and time collapsing in a mere fraction of a second.
The law of conservation of matter and energy says that matter cannot be destroyed. So how is this even possible? Well, I guess this is one of those situations where we say, fuck the law. It happened. We've reached nothingness again. Well, I mean, we didn't. Nothingness reached itself in this cosmic cycle, I guess. Why did I use the word itself again? This doesn't make any sense.
There's another theory that suggests that the total energy of the universe is exactly zero, the zero energy universe theory. All the matter in the universe is made out of positive energy. However, that same matter is attracting itself by gravity. Think about it this way. We know that zero represents nothing, right? But if we use an equation, we could also say that 0 equals 1 plus minus 1, and we're also correct. So what if at the beginning, that nothingness divided into all the positive energy and all the negative energy? Positive energy being all the matter and negative energy being gravity. Bear in mind that we're trying to make sense of nothingness using mathematical reasoning. But if that was the case, the total energy of the universe would be 0. And the phrase, a universe from nothingness, would make total sense. So, did we solve the puzzle? Unfortunately, no. As much as we want this to be true, it's just another theory that we cannot prove. So I guess we're back to square one. Or should I say, we're back to nothing. See what I did there? Have you ever had that feeling that something's off? That weird sensation that makes you question your own reality, your surroundings. What if none of this is real? What if all of this, everything? I personally believe that living in a simulation is a strong possibility. In this case, something or someone has to be running the simulation, right? And for that entity to exist, space, time, matter, and energy are necessary. But I guess that leaves nothingness out of the question again. Or what if we're thinking this the wrong way? What if that entity can exist outside of space-time? Holy smokes. Okay, we've reached a point where science seems to be rendered useless. It just won't provide us with any answers. So what now?
Pressure is dropping. He's going into cardiac arrest.
VF. Charging. Clear. Still BFF. Again. Charging. Clear. Charging. Clear. Charging. Clear.
Chase. Stop. Time of death, 0 hours with 0 minutes.
MexStark is dead. He's not aware of it, but he's now part of nothingness. He will remain unable to feel anything at all, without any consciousness. He has just ceased to exist, and he'll stay that way for eternity.
Did I just die? Death is the closest thing we'll get to nothingness. Unfortunately, we won't be able to tell that we are dead at all. As far as we're concerned, we'll just be sleeping forever, but now being part of nothingness.
If you've been paying attention to the video, you'll realize that the last sentence doesn't make any sense at all. I mean, we can understand it, but it's wrong. I said, but now we are part of nothingness. The word now implies time, but there's no time in nothingness. Then I say, we are part of, but we cannot be part of nothing. You see what I'm talking about? This thing can drive you mad. Damn!
Wait a minute. Did my future self use the word God? Maybe that's the key. The Bible compares death to sleep more than 50 times. Here's a quick passage. For the living know that they will die, but the dead know nothing. They have no further reward, for the memory of them is forgotten. Of course, we can trust the Bible 100% since it could have been altered throughout history. But if we assume for a moment that it's telling the truth, then death is indeed nothingness. It's a frustrating realization, isn't it? Understanding that when we die, we go back to the beginning, the void, but not being able to tell. I suppose there are some boundaries we're not meant to cross. I guess we just can't help the instinct to try to give meaning to things we don't understand. Maybe we need to flip the switch in our thinking and accept that there might be things that don't necessarily have a beginning or an end. That there are things that our mortal minds simply can't understand. And this is not about religion, it's about considering that there might be forces or beings outside of our basic or current understanding of reality. There's something that I call the fundamental boundaries of reality. If you believe in God, you can call them the boundaries of God. And if you're agnostic or an atheist, you can call them just the boundaries of the universe. The key point here is that regardless of our beliefs and technological advancements, it's just impossible to go beyond these limits or boundaries.
And the boundaries are: we can't come back from death, and we don't know what's after it. As far as we'll ever know, it's a permanent state. We cannot live forever. No matter how much you take care of yourself or if you put yourself in cryogenic preservation, at one point in time, you will cease to exist. We don't have a clear understanding of time, and we can manipulate it to go to the beginning of everything or the end of it. The only thing we own is the now. We cannot travel faster than the speed of light. In fact, we can't even get close to that speed. We've tried to understand how our brain works, and we've come to have a very basic understanding of it. But the concept of consciousness will always remain a mystery. I'm sure there are a few more, but any other will probably be a ramification of these.
To me, the fact that these limits exist is a clear indicator that we're not alone in the universe. No matter the path we try to take to understand something, in the end, all roads will point in the same direction. It seems we are a product of creation, not a random event. And after pondering this dilemma for a very, very long time, ironically, the most satisfactory answer I have found is that we know nothing. That's perfectly fine.